This is Divine Knockout. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is a game that's currently in like a founder's period of development. It might go free to play down the road. I imagine it will. And it's a multiplayer brawling game for like, I think it's like up to 3v3, there's like 2v2, there's 1v1. I believe that is also subject to change over time, based like, you know, the quantity of players and everything like that. So on the Series X, we are, wow, okay, getting attacked by multiple enemies. On the Series X, we get actually two visual modes. I guess both of them targeting 4K. One of them is 60 FPS, and then one of them is 120 FPS, so we'll have some of the 120 FPS gameplay, you know, over top while we're experiencing this. Wow, I actually got knocked out. So it's under settings, and then, yeah, so you gotta, you know, we're on the enhanced visuals, and then you can go to 120 FPS if you have that enabled, but we don't for the particular recording scenario and setup. So yeah, you play as a range of different gods, there's different skins, and there are a bunch of, I guess, different kind of unlock options and paths for, you know, choosing the skins. I was really doing well at this the other night. Just want to put that out there. I was just rocking it last night while I was sitting here playing this, getting used to it. I don't think I'm doing too bad, but definitely seems a little bit more competitive. Usually you just spam Y, and then you just send flying. So it's kind of a little bit like Smash Bros, but strangely enough, it kind of really reminds me of like Happy Wars, if anybody even remembers what that is. I don't know why that's the case, but yeah. So it is a high-res title, so if you're familiar with, you know, high-res games, they have, they kind of do a little bit of a godly kind of thing usually, don't they? But there is a wide range of different modes, and you kind of do these multi-round battles, if that makes sense. So like, you know, one round you're just kind of eliminating each other, another round you are, ooh, okay, that didn't work out for me. Another round you're like playing King of the Hill. There's like a few different modes and rounds for you to play. There's cross-play, there's cross-progression. You know, basically kind of all of the expected sort of like elements of, you know, a modern multiplayer game. And I do think it's actually quite aesthetically pleasing. I do like, you know, the visual style of this one. I think it's actually quite well done from a gameplay perspective. And again, if you're looking for something that's kind of like Smash Bros, I guess you would say, to a degree, but in like a 3D space, I think this one kind of hits the mark there. Oh, got hit by the giant rock. Awesome. And, you know, there's a lot of like desperation type moves you can kind of make to, you know, keep your character in the ring, keep them fighting, because that's the idea, is you don't want to get wrung out and stuff like that. And, you know, there's a countdown timer. Usually, though, we don't have an issue getting to the end of, you know, hitting all of the opponents out. Don't know how that person's gonna recover. There we go. See, I'm still doing pretty good. But yeah, you've got like a neat selection of characters too. They all have different abilities, and then there's like a more complex kind of like, I guess you would say almost leveling thing to them. Uh-oh. Within that, as well as you kind of improve them, and you could pick different extra like kind of skill sets within the skill sets of the character, which is kind of intriguing. So, yeah, inspired by 2D platform fighters, but a unique third-person aspect. So obviously that makes sense. Collect coins to buy your way to victory. That actually sounds kind of a little bit intriguing there. But yeah, there's the King of the Hill setup, and you vote for the map, and you go into the next battle. So it's got all the different, like, godly type characters. Like, it's interesting. Like, I actually kind of like this. I don't know, like, long-term attention-wise, how much it would kind of entice me, but you know, I do like the look of the different arenas. You know, playing at 120 FPS is really nice, if that makes sense. Like, it is definitely something for one of these games where you want that really, really quick input and hit. It could be a big advantage, but I think either way, it does look pretty good visually. I think the concept of it is actually kind of cool. It makes sense. You have lots of different, like, quick kind of combat hits, and you can kind of chain things. in order to, you know, really get the most effective kind of combo going out here as you try to eliminate your opponents. And I think it's really about picking characters, you know, that you're really comfortable with and you get used to abilities-wise, and then you're able to more easily... that guy got a double kill off those guys I was working on for that long. Funny. You know, you can kind of get to that level of comfortability with your characters where you know all the different skill sets and you can really quite dominate. But it does seem to have like a good selection of different game modes. I quite like there's also one map where because there's like some destructive elements, I guess you would say, but there's one map where it's like essentially the floor is just like constantly going up and down. Like sometimes part of the map's like the map is really tiny, sometimes the map is really large. It's you know, it kind of evolves, which I think is interesting because it's just kind of changing the environment you're fighting within really quite well. That guy actually continues to juggle into the map very well, trying to get him eliminated. But yeah, you can see like the percentage there is kind of like the aggro of that character going up and stuff over time as they get hit more and more. It just makes them more susceptible to being like removed from the play space, right? Because that's the goal, is like, you know, you want to eliminate them because then your team can get like points. Oh wow, okay, so I was going back and forth there. But yeah, it's kind of a neat combative title. I hope they keep adding more maps and more stuff to it. For me, a lot of these ones, you know, it's the gameplay I kind of like, and then it's just like I need more behind the scenes. I need more to keep me, you know, enticed and interested in it. Because that could be one of the hardest development things, is just keeping people, you know, playing, keeping people interested over the long term. And that would be my biggest issue with this one, because it's actually kind of fun. You know, I think it does play on the whole, you know, it's like Smash Bros. Kind of, but yeah, I think it plays on that concept quite well. It does definitely do its own sort of thing with it. You know, the gods have like a cool little funky style to them. I like the different like kind of costume options, because that's what I've got. Oh, the swamp is what I was talking about, where the map changes up and down. Because I was kind of mentioning that like I've got this one character here with a neat skin, and you know that's not her main skin, and it's some neat little options, neat little choices to kind of change up how your characters look. You know, that's fun. It just like it looks. Again, I don't have any problems specifically with this, but it definitely looks like something where it's like, you know, buy all the costumes, buy all this stuff, you know, there's gonna be passes, or I think there already is like passes and stuff, and, you know, it's very much something that's like, oh yeah, this is, you know, they say it could become free to play, but it's like, yeah, this will definitely be free to play. But they do outline that it's gonna be a long period of a founder's time, so like depending on when you are, ooh, that was close. Depending on when you are watching this, you know, as things are going to change for this, I just want to get that kind of across. Like, it's, definitely don't want to date myself in regards to the video for long term, you know, people looking at it, but yeah, it could definitely change by the time you specifically go to play it. There's a tutorial as well, but like, it kind of feels almost unnecessary because the concept of it is really simple. Like, you're literally just kind of hack and slash, you know, pushing characters, and you've got a few different abilities. I was like, this is pretty standard. Oh wow, did I get knocked right into a moving piece thing there and killed? That was crazy. But yeah, I do like the quirkiness here of the character designs and stuff. I don't really know what else they would really kind of add gameplay-wise. I think the core mechanics are actually very, very well done. I think you could maybe get like a competitive kind of scene going with this one too. I think this would lend itself well to that. But yeah, it'll all depend on how kind of big it gets. But, you know, people love their kind of arena-type knockout brawlers like this. So this is one that I think maybe actually has quite a bit of potential to it if it hits like the right audience and gets the name out there. Because I was definitely intrigued by this one, and I finally got around to, you know, diving in here and kind of battling it off. And yeah, I've kind of been enjoying it. I'm like, this is, to me, is kind of interesting. But your mileage, again, is really going to vary based on the type of individual you are. Just, yeah, as I go back to it, Smash Bros., if you like that, but you've wanted like a 3D take on it for a while, I think this kind of hits the mark. And there is like actually like a healthy roster of characters too. I would say one of the weak spots for me maybe is just like I need some more maps with these game mode concepts. Ooh, that was close. But it also seems really fair too in regards to like getting yourself back in, you know, keeping your fight going. Like I think it gives you a lot of opportunities to kind of like save yourself, you know, and not be knocked out and stuff like that. Did we get the victory there? And we're back into the action with a fresh set of people, at least I think so. As we battle forth. But I like that there's little environmental destructive bits. But I can also see why this one's able to give you the 120 FPS pretty easily, because it is, like, really, really small. Spaced. You know, it doesn't... it's a pretty simplistic battlefield. But I don't think you could really do larger arenas with this one. I don't think it would really work because, you know, the idea of it is to keep the frantic action going on, which this one does a pretty good job of. Ah, I can't believe that person didn't recover there. That's hilarious. And I love doing the, that was cool, the ice wall there. Interesting character. I love doing the whole kind of like shooting them out of the ring and then kind of watching them and keep like trying to propel them out of the ring. Because if you do it right, you can, you know, kind of force them out. But it's all about, like, timing and setting things up and, you know, hitting the right spot. There is, you know, a lot of actual little skill behind this one, which I find intriguing. I do find this fun. I can see myself jumping in and being like, oh, I'm going to do, like, little bits of this every now and then, you know, do a few matches here or there. I don't know if it would become a primary title for me to any degree. But, yeah, it's quite different. You know, I'm always looking for different kinds of multiplayer games to grab my attention, and I think this would also scale very well across different devices and stuff like that, which is a good thing with the whole, you know, kind of cross-progression concept. Yeah, because it all runs really well. It looks nice, you know, aesthetically pleasing. A decent amount of particle effects. If anything, it could be... Oh, wow, I'm stuck in the wall. If anything, it could probably be... Oh, wow, that was like a last-minute save there. It could be a little bit more complex with some of the particle stuff. I feel like there could be more little things going on, but I don't know if that would also fit the cartoon aesthetic that they've got going for this one. Just wondering if we'll get any, like, tie-in type characters over time. I guess if it becomes popular enough, I don't see why you couldn't with this sort of thing, but... They are trying to do the gods of the wars and stuff like that. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, kind of an interesting concept gameplay-wise. I like it overall. I think it's kind of enjoyable. That ice guy's got some really, really cool abilities. See, there's so much like kind of like little bits of meta in this one too, based on your abilities, because like, you know, different characters can kind of like counter some things, and you gotta get used to all the different skill sets. To be really good at this, you'd have to know like how all these different characters like attack and, you know, kind of moves they have and what kind of combat they can do. It's yeah, it's definitely interesting. Wow, I can't believe I keep getting knocked out so much. Usually I do a lot better than that. But I don't really have more details to go over. You know, it's not a horribly complex sort of thing, right? You come in, you do your hack and slashing, you smash opponents out of the ring like you've been seeing, and occasionally you've gotten some objectives to do while you're doing it as well, so it's not just like all ring outs, but yeah, I think they play on things well. And if you have a good team to kind of coordinate with, I think you can do even more interesting attacks and battles and like group ups on people so that they're like, you know, overwhelmed, you're knocking them out of the ring. You know, if you set it up right with a squad, not to say it's difficult to do it by yourself, like play by yourself and just play with randoms and stuff. I don't really have too many issues. I've actually done quite well, I think, just jumping into matches. But yeah, if you actually want to squad up and stuff, I think you would be even more effective in causing problems for those around you. And I think that would make it very interesting. Or I could say that, you know, it could get quite competitive, especially if you get into groups where it's like more intense. Like 1v1 is, you know, kind of a little bit more like directly focused. I like the 3-on-3 though. I think the 3-on-3 to me is interesting because there's just, you know, a good quantity of people doing the different activities. But yeah, like I said, no more further details really to go over, and just enjoy some you know, non-commentary gameplay in action, so you get more of an idea of it if you would like.
My tactics have failed me.
Knockout! Spellbound!
Evil is necessary to balance good.